Hello, welcome to another episode of JK Sports. Sorry, it's been a while, I've been on a little bit of a hiatus. Today we're going to be doing a mock NFL draft, but just the first round. With a couple trades, mixes up a few things. The first two, pretty much everybody thinks they've got it written down in the books. They might as well already have the contracts done. Number one to the Los Angeles Rams. Got pretty much what everybody has, Jared Goff. I personally think Carson Wentz is a better quarterback, but I think the Rams just like Goff better. Plus he brings that California fan base that the Rams are trying to get now. So I understand it. Number two, Philadelphia. There goes Carson Wentz. Their need for a quarterback with revamping their team from the whole Chip Kelly debacle definitely makes sense. Number three is San Diego. They have the luxury of taking the best player, I think, in the entire draft. Maybe only to somebody else who we'll get to right after this, who is Laremy Tunsil, offensive tackle. For sure the best offensive lineman in the entire draft out of Ole Miss. Just mammoth guy. He'll be protecting Rivers' blindside and whoever follows Rivers in the future for the Chargers. Which leaves number four, also possibly the best player in the draft, falling to Dallas, and that's Jalen Ramsey. Player I absolutely love. I'm a little biased towards him being an FSU fan, but he is an athletic freak. He can play safety or corner. Didn't have a knack for intercepting the ball that much in college, but that was also because the ball was barely thrown his way. So, yeah, he's just a monster. Number five, Jacksonville. I almost had this guy falling, but I made a last-second change, brought him back up. Joey Bosa, DN from Ohio State. Just a monster pass rusher. He should do really well in Jacksonville. Who they've been looking for a pass rusher for years and years and years, and they might have finally found one if they pick him. Number six is Baltimore. They desperately need an offensive lineman, so I have them taking Ronnie Stanley out of Notre Dame. So at number seven, we have San Francisco, and after many people retiring on them a couple seasons back, they desperately need somebody at inside linebacker, and that's why I think they take Reggie Ragland. I absolutely hate Alabama, but I love Reggie Ragland as a player. Part of me actually hopes he falls to the Dolphins, who are kind of my favorite team, only because they're my home team. So that leaves us at number 8 with Cleveland. Now, a lot of people have Cleveland trading down, but for the purposes of the mock draft, I'll keep them here. In fact, whatever the order is now, which is about an hour before the draft, I know I'm trying to get this in real quick. I'll keep every team where they're slotted at right now. So Cleveland, I have them taking DeForest Buckner, defensive end out of Oregon, who could be a steal. A lot of people have him going number 3 overall. He's just a mammoth player. He's like 6'7", 291. So he could end up being a beast. But a lot of DNs from Oregon have been busts in the past, namely Deion Jordan. So that does bring a concern. Number 9, Tampa Bay, also another team with offensive line needs. I have them taking Jack Conklin from Michigan State. He may not be the most talented tackle in the draft, but he has a lot of leadership and intangibles that I like about him. At number 10, we have the Giants. I have them taking Miles Jack despite recent concerns about his knee. I think a lot of that came with him being a little overused at UCLA, playing both linebacker and running back, even though that happened less and less in his career. But still, he's just an athletic freak at linebacker. He can read a defense and make a play. Not quite like Luke Kuechly, but in that same mold. Number 11, Chicago. I have them taking Leonard Floyd, just a pass rushing beast from Georgia. Guy who really knows how to get to the quarterback, and that's something Chicago needs. Which takes us to number 12, New Orleans. This is a guy I had going high, and lately he's been falling in a lot of mocks, and happened in mine as well. Vernon Hargreaves, the corner from Florida. He's actually a guy I really like a lot. Like I said, up until right before this video started, I actually had him going pretty high, but after looking at a couple things, I moved him down. Which brings us to 13, Miami. Now, a lot of people have Miami taking Ezekiel Elliott at running back after Miami lost Lamar Miller to free agency. I'm kind of hoping that they don't do that, that most people have that mock happening. I'm hoping they look at linebacker, which is also a position of need for them, and look to either later in the draft or next year for running back. And next year is going to be a loaded class at running back, which is why I'm hoping they take that route. So I have them taking a little bit of risk here with Jalen Smith. I know there's a lot of concerns about his knee. I just think that if a team feels good about it and his rehab, he is definitely worth the pick. He could be the best linebacker in the draft. But only time will tell on that, and how he rehabs from his knee, we'll be able to tell on that. Okay, so that takes us to number 14, Oakland. They definitely need defensive help. They took a step in the right direction with Khalil Mack, but I think they need help on the backside of that, so I think they'll be taking Eli Apple, corner out of Ohio State. Alright, so that takes us to pick number 15, which is Tennessee. I have them taking also a little bit of a risk here with a player with some off the field issues, and Robert Nkemdiche. Talent-wise, he's right up there with talent-wise. He could go 1, 2, 3, way up there in the draft. But there are some red flags with him, and that's why he's falling. Some people don't even have him going in the first round. I have Tennessee taking that risk with him. Just a world of talent, and Tennessee picking at 15 could get a steal there. At 16, I'm going with Nkemdiche's teammate, Laquan Treadwell, which mispronounced. Laquan Treadwell, receiver also from Ole Miss. With them losing Calvin Johnson to retirement, I feel they need a big-bodied receiver to step in there and take his place, which Laquan Treadwell really is. And he's a nice complement to Golden Tate on the other side, or he would be. So number 17, Atlanta. Another big risk here with off-the-field issues. Noah Spence, a guy who was highly recruited in high school, went to Ohio State, became a star there on the defensive line, then, like I said, off-the-field issues, got kicked out of the school, so he's coming out of Eastern Kentucky. Again, talent-wise, he's a top 5, top 10 type of pick, but he comes with red flags, which is why I have him falling to 17 with Atlanta. And Atlanta's another one of those teams that's been looking for a pass rusher for years, and if they take Spence, they could find their guy. At 18, I have Indiana. They desperately need offensive line help, and I think Ryan Kelly could be that guy, center out of Bama. He could anchor that line for years to come and help Andrew Luck read the defense and communicate that to the rest of the line. He does a really good job of that. 19 is Buffalo. I have them taking Taylor Decker because they also need offensive line help, but what's unique to them is while most people are looking for a left tackle, they actually need a right tackle, and that's what Taylor Decker is actually better at. So that actually really fits what they need, and it fits where they are in the draft. It's kind of a perfect pick for them, and he's out of Ohio State. Number 20, I have the Jets, and year after year now, they've been looking for defensive line help, and now they probably have one of the better D-lines in all of football, which they added a lot of depth to last year with their top pick, Leonard Williams. This year I have them helping out their defense again, but this time at linebacker. I have them taking Darren Lee out of Ohio State. Just a really good linebacker. I think he could help in coverage on passing plays and help stuff the run. That defensive line is going to open up so many holes for him that all he has to really do is run through and make the tackle. Number 21, this is probably the guy a lot of people have been waiting for me to say. I would have had him earlier, but no team really needs the position. Once you get past maybe, like I said, Miami. That's Ezekiel Elliott, running back. This is my third straight Ohio State guy, funny enough. But Washington definitely needs a running back, and if he falls to them, they're taking him in a heartbeat. They're a team that maybe might have been looking to next year at running back, but if Elliott falls to them, they're definitely taking him. They're not going to wait for next year. So that takes us to 22 with Houston. Houston definitely needs a receiver on the opposite side of DeAndre Hopkins. So I have them taking William Fuller from Notre Dame. I think he's a good complement receiver to Hopkins. 23 is Minnesota, and almost the same exact thing with them, except on the other side of the field. They need a corner on the opposite of Xavier Rhodes. So I have them taking Mackenzie Alexander out of Clemson. A top corner, like he could easily go in the top 15. But I have him here at 23 just because of certain team needs and who's available. So I think that would be a really good pick. 24, Cincinnati. Cincinnati's one of those teams, they don't really have a huge team need, so they can kind of just take the best person available, which in this case happens to be, it's not a huge need, but of what they need to get, it probably is their biggest, is at wide receiver. I have them taking Josh Doctson from TCU. He'll be a good secondary receiver to AJ Green there. So 25 is Pittsburgh, position that they've kind of been missing for a while now, ever since Troy Polamalu left, and even in his last couple of years when he wasn't quite the same player he was. They definitely need a safety, and possibly the best safety in the draft is Keanu Neal from Florida. This guy, he was part of maybe the best secondary in college football at Florida too. he could definitely step in and help them out at a position they've been lacking for a couple years now. So that brings us to 26 and Seattle. They need offensive line help, as we saw from Russell Wilson all last year running for his life. Unfortunately, there isn't any one of those top offensive line guys left. This is more of a second tier kind of guy. Luckily, this is lower in the first round where you can get away with taking one of those people. I have them taking, and I hope I'm pronouncing this correctly, Jermaine Ifedi. I'm not sure how to pronounce that last name. I apologize. Offensive lineman out of Texas A&M. He's definitely a decent prospect. Like I said, he isn't that elite guy, but he is in that second tier. So after Seattle is Green Bay at 27. I have them taking A'Shawn Robinson, D-tackle out of Bama. He's just a big body guy. He'll take on two blockers and definitely stuff the run. Something Green Bay needs after B.J. Raji, I think, announced his retirement. So after that is 28 with Kansas City. Now, I almost had them taking a wide receiver to put on the opposite side of, his name escapes me right now, the receiver they got from Philadelphia that they signed. I almost had them taking that, but I know Alex Smith is getting a little bit older. Not everybody likes him. I actually do like him. I think he's a solid quarterback who knows how to win. He may not be the most impressive guy, but he gets the job done. But he is getting older, and I think they might take a guy to groom for a few years under Alex Smith, help have Smith kind of teach him the mental side of the game. And I have them taking Paxton Lynch here, and I think it's a good spot to take Lynch, since he is in that second tier of quarterbacks, and he's the clear number 3 guy in the draft. And he's out of Kentucky, for those who don't know. So after Kansas City is Arizona at 29. They definitely need offensive line help, but they're not too bad off at tackle. They kind of need the interior line. So I have them taking Cody Whitehair, offensive lineman from Kansas State. So after that is 30, Carolina. With the whole Josh Norman thing that just happened, their need went from probably wide receiver to corner. So I have them taking Kendall Fuller from Virginia Tech. I think he's more of a second round grade to me, but the need for the position kind of outweighs that at the moment for Carolina. So that's why I have them taking him there. Then for the Super Bowl champion Denver Broncos at 31, I have them taking Sheldon Rankins, D-tackle from Louisville. They definitely need that help on stopping the run. That was one of their weaker points. They have no problem stopping the pass. That's something they excel in greatly, but they definitely need that run stuffer at D-tackle, and that's what he provides. He's out of Louisville. So that concludes my first round draft mock for 2016. Please tell me what you guys think. Post in the comments. Like the video if you thought it was good. And please let me know. Alright, thank you.